Howdy, Ags. Welcome in to the Aggie Audible. I am your host, Lee Hillis, and it is that time of year. Football's back. But before we get to the games, we are taking a tour around the SEC. Little technical difficulty, but we are taking a quick tour around the SEC. This is a two-part series. We will be getting to the second half next week. But before we do anything, let's bring in our counterpart, class of 2022, Kyle Lovingood. Kyle, how are you?
I am doing great. Good to be here. And, I love talking SEC football. I love SEC football, so I'm excited to go through these teams.
So there are some new things in the SEC. There are some new faces, and there's some familiar faces in new places. And you know who one of those familiar faces is. A certain former Aggie quarterback who's still in the SEC with his third team. But before we get there, we're going to start off talking Alabama. Alabama is coming off of what, a 9-4 year? They lose Jalen Milroe. But in the pool, they grab Cam DeBerry and Isaiah Horton, which Horton is a very good wide receiver. And it looks like DeBerry is their starting left guard.
Right.
So, in your opinion, how do you think Bama does this year? Under Kalen DeBoer in year 2, and Ty Simpson listed as the starter at this point.
Yeah, I think that was like relatively new news breaking tonight that Ty Simpson is going to be the Alabama starter. I mean, he's been sitting, like you had mentioned, we were talking a little bit earlier, he's been sitting and waiting for his chance. So let's see what he can do. And overall, I feel like Alabama, they have the talent, they have the players, they have the scheme. They got their offensive coordinator in there that I think they like. And, let's see what they can do. I think DeBoer and Grubb, their offensive coordinator, can, make this pop. So you were talking about the players. We didn't mention LT Overton. He was a former Texas A&M defensive lineman. After his freshman year, he transferred to Alabama, and it seems like he's created himself a role there. So that's the kind of talent the A&M have that they've lost. So it just hopefully that means that we have even more talent on our roster. So we'll see.
Well, let's pull up Alabama's schedule for this year.
I'm excited about that opener. Yeah, Florida State. That's gonna be a big deal.
At Florida State.
At Florida State. And if they lose, college football is going to go nuts, especially after the year that Florida State had last year.
The toilet bowl season?
Yeah. They got all those recruits. They got all the transfers. And they were supposed to win the national championship. And that went down the drain quick.
Yeah. I was talking to someone who is a Florida State fan today. And he said, had Jordan Travis not got hurt when he did, not last season, but the season before, you're talking about possibly a national championship team at Florida State.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, 2 years ago when they got
throttled by Georgia.
Yeah.
But Alabama's schedule seems pretty easy to start off. Actually, 2 of their first 3 are games I'm punching like Bama has to lose at least one of those 2. Florida State, Louisiana Monroe, and Wisconsin are their first 3 games. I think Bama has to lose at least one of those. I don't think they do. But if they do, okay.
Right.
But then you start getting into the meat of your schedule. 4th game of the year, which is week 5 of the season, they go to Georgia.
That's a big game. Like, it doesn't get any bigger.
And I think
than
that is prime time. I think that's ABC game of the week.
Let's see, Georgia. Yep, 6:30, prime time. That'd be 6:30 Central.
Yeah. Vanderbilt goes to Bama this year. Does Bama avenge that loss? Or does Pavia have a little bit more Vanderbilt magic?
I don't think so. I think Bama's coming for him. I think Alabama's going to be ready to just run them over. They got rage, ready to go.
The second Saturday in October, Alabama goes to Columbia, Missouri.
I don't see any reason that Missouri should be much of a challenge for Alabama, but you never know. Missouri's one of those sneaky teams. You never know what you're going to get from them.
Exactly. And then Tennessee goes to Bryant-Denny for that 3rd Saturday in October.
Do you consider that rivalry game between Tennessee and Alabama?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of bad blood right there.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like
Bama then goes yeah.
I was just going to say, it feels like both Alabama and Tennessee have like 3-4 rivals, and this is one. I
would only say 2 for each.
Well,
Tennessee has Bama and Vandy.
Okay, it's been so one-sided though.
Bama has Tennessee and Auburn.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
The last Saturday in October, Alabama has to go to the other Columbia, South Carolina.
That's a scary place to play. I think A&M learned that last year.
I hope we did. To start November, LSU has to travel to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, we'll see if Brian Kelly has what it takes. I mean, I'm kind of not sure. I'm on the fence with him. So we'll see how he can handle Bama.
The next to last SEC game. Can Alabama avenge the loss to Oklahoma?
I don't see why not. I mean, I'm not really. I feel like it was kind of a fluky game, a weird game last year. So I really feel like Alabama should have Oklahoma's number this year. Again, it's kind of like the Vandy situation. There's some revenge on their mind.
And then a cakewalk game with Eastern Illinois.
Nobody else in the SEC gets this, just Alabama.
And then the game of all games, the Iron Bowl. Alabama and Auburn.
I mean, this has been some of the funner games to watch. So, yeah, I agree. Rivalry.
I'll say, if people don't think that game is entertaining, they don't know good football.
Well, I mean, at least maybe it's better than that LSU versus Alabama game when it was like 9-6. You know,
that was a defensive knockdown drag out.
That was a different era too. We weren't throwing it all around.
That was Nick Saban at LSU.
Yep.
But just a quick glance over the starting lineups for offensive and defense for Alabama. Isaiah Horton starting outside. Jeremy Bernard, transfer senior, the sophomore, who will probably end up scoring his first NFL touchdown before he's old enough to drink. Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
Ryan Williams.
He was good last year.
Yeah.
He came on strong. He had some insane plays, and then he kind of had that toward the end of the season didn't keep it. But I feel like, next, it's a new season and he can really show what he's got.
Yeah. The offensive line, you have Caden Proctor, Cam DeBerry, Parker Brailsford, Gino Van DeMark, and Wilkin Formby. Or Formby, yeah. There's two names that really stand out on the offensive line. It's on that left side in Caden Proctor and Cam DeBerry.
Yeah, the Aggies are going to miss Cam. So he was a really good player, and Alabama got a good one there.
And then that name was their quarterback, Ty Simpson, redshirt junior. Do you think he has some success with that receiving core, with just those three receivers?
I mean, why wouldn't he? He's got all the talent he could ask for to throw to. I mean, Kalen DeBoer is going to put him in the best situation to succeed. So I don't see why not. I mean, he has some of the best talent you could ask for it.
And then over to the defensive side, that name right there at the very top, LT Overton, who's listed as a starter on that Alabama team defense.
Another one of those Aggie transfers that, different era. It's so strange seeing all these players that go into different teams.
But now to, as I like to call them, the Razorhacks.
Woo, pigs, suey.
So right out the gate, they have two, in my opinion, pancake games, basically. Alabama A&M and Arkansas State.
Yep. Those are cupcakes. A&M has 2 of those too.
But Jaden Platt, former Texas A&M tight end, is now at Arkansas with former A&M offensive coordinator Bobby Petrino.
Yep, Bobby Petrino. He's going to be the make or break here, I think. How well can he get these quarterback and wide receivers, connect?
And we know how he likes to do. A&M's defense knows how he likes to work. Because he was here under some joker named Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo wants to get back into coaching. You heard that the other day, right?
No, I did not.
He was on a podcast, Florida State podcast, comes in and says, yeah, I got the drive. I can do it. I just need the opportunity. It's basically what it's just summarizing.
I think Arkansas is not the team that a lot of people think they are. Like, do they have the talent? Yes. But in my opinion, it comes down to coaching. I don't think Sam Pittman has it as much as people think he does. I think Arkansas goes 3-9.
I like Sam Pittman, right? Like if we were going to sit down and you were to pick an SEC coach to have a beer with, Sam Pittman would be one of them. He's a really likable guy. I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons he's still at Arkansas because, they don't hate him either.
But I think it comes down to coaching. Like the fundamentals, mechanics. I think that's what it comes down to.
Talent.
Yeah. Well,
I think it comes down to talent.
Arkansas has talent. But there's a whole lot. There's teams that are in their schedule that I think will run through them any day of the week.
They might have talent, but they've lost a lot of theirs to what is it, Ole Miss? Like they're like an Ole Miss recruiting
ground. I think Arkansas goes 3-9 and 1-7 in the SEC.
Man, you know what? I have a friend who absolutely hates Arkansas, and he would absolutely love this to happen. So, you know what? For him, I'll just go ahead and go along with this. Let's go 3-9. Sam Pittman gone.
And yeah, Sam Pittman. This is a hot take. I think Pittman is fired after the season.
I mean, if they go 3-9, that's not a very hot take. Arkansas. I mean, they at least have some aspirations to be good at football.
But back to their schedule: Alabama A&M and Arkansas State. Right out the gate. That's like A&M having UTSA in Utah State.
Right?
I agree. That's not how that is. But then, third game of the year. Oh, there's no cooling off period. Arkansas travels to Oxford to play Ole Miss.
And all their transfers that they lost to Ole Miss.
Yeah. And then, fourth game of the year, they travel to Memphis.
Should be a win.
Don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on Memphis.
Memphis could be a good team, so yeah.
The team that I'll be seeing in week 3 travels to Fayetteville, to Arkansas. Notre Dame.
It's at home. Why is Notre Dame going to Arkansas, by the way? What is that?
I have no idea. Arkansas. So they get the week after Notre Dame off. Arkansas does. Then they go to Knoxville to play Tennessee.
You know who
A&M A&M then goes to Arkansas.
And the Aggies win. They have to win. The Aggie fan base expects them to win.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going 3-9. They better win.
And then Auburn has to go to Fayetteville. Mississippi State has to go to Fayetteville to start November. But then it gets even worse for Arkansas.
You think they're going to win out the last 3 games? Yeah, they're going to go to Death Valley. Yeah, why not? That's their 3 wins. They have to go to
Death Valley. They have to go to Death Valley.
You said 3-9, right? They lose their first 9 games. And then they went out.
Go to Death Valley and beat Arkansas? Or to beat LSU?
No.
And then go into Austin and beat Texas?
I would love that.
Beat Missouri at home?
No. Yeah, that lose. Yeah, I agree.
But the next team is the Auburn Tigers. They get Jackson Arnold, former OU quarterback, and then Horatio Fields at wide receiver. But they lose one of the wide receivers that torched us last year. And Lambert Smith.
I almost said Cam Newton. Cam Coleman. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lambert Smith had his way. Jeez.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But Auburn going 8-4 is not a long shot.
You know, Hugh Freeze is going to be under a heck of a lot of pressure this season. I mean, it's kind of a make or break season for him. If he doesn't show significant improvement this year, I mean, he's going to be I don't know. He may be on the way out, or he's going to be just on a blazing hot seat next season. So I don't know. I don't know what to think.
Auburn's schedule, they start off at Baylor.
That's going to be a tough one. At Baylor? Baylor's going to be
August 29th. August 29th at Baylor in the blazing heat of Texas.
Blazing. Yep.
And then Ball State has to go to Auburn. South Alabama has to go to Auburn. Auburn has to travel to Norman to play OU. Auburn has to travel to Kyle Field.
When?
That's a game that I feel like all Aggies have circled on their calendar outside of that Texas game.
Well, circled for the wrong reasons. Because we've lost to them 2 out of the last 3 years. We lost to them 2 out of the last 3 years, I think. Or was it 2 years in a row? No, 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Georgia goes to Auburn.
I don't know how they're going to handle that. I feel like Georgia's going to run right through.
Missouri goes to Auburn.
That could be a toss-up.
Auburn has to travel to Fayetteville. Kentucky travels to Auburn.
That'll be a win.
Here's a game that I would pay money to go to. Auburn at Vandy.
Boy, you're just really disrespecting Auburn at this point.
Vanderbilt Pavia has given Auburn headaches going back to New Mexico State, the bowl game.
You're right.
And if you have not seen Any Given Saturday, the SEC film on Netflix, you need to watch it.
I have not seen it. I don't even have Netflix, so you're gonna have to fill me in. But I've kind of heard you as an Aggie fan, you may not even want to watch it because it films a lot of them down.
They don't really show A&M really, except for the 3 games we lost: Texas,
That's what I right.
Texas, Auburn, and South Carolina. And like when they get to A&M,
Rub that salt.
Exactly.
Rub the salt in the wound. Come on.
Mercer.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Mercer goes to Auburn, and then Bama to Auburn.
Win.
And the next team we have to deal with are those no good, low down, dirty Gators.
Goodness, I kind of enjoy those games. Goodness, I didn't realize we were going to go that far.
No. I love to cause a little drama.
Well, DJ Lagway does too. He's injured. Is he not injured? Is his shoulder hurt? Is his ankle broken?
So they lost the big receiver that torched us last year in DK. Florida, I have them going 6-6 and 4-4 in conference.
Okay, that sounds about right.
And Billy Napier is definitely on a hot seat this year, going into this year.
Billy Napier is boomer bust this year. It's another one of those teams.
Who is LIU? Oh, Long Island. So Florida starts out with a pancake game with Long Island. Then they have South Florida coming to Gainesville. Both those games are in Gainesville. But those first 2 games, that winning streak won't last long because you go to Death Valley week 3.
So I'm taking it. You're pretty high on LSU this year.
Oh, you'll see where I got LSU at here in a little bit.
Okay.
And then they go to Miami.
Who's the king of Florida?
That's basically what this is for, is a battle of the state of Florida. And then Texas goes to Gainesville.
I would love nothing better than DJ Lagway to give Texas a hard time.
I would love it if Lagway was to beat Texas. If that's one of their 4 wins, I would love it. Florida has to go to Kyle Field to face TJ Searcy and Jay Bateman and that Aggie defense. They gave Florida a headache last year on top of Marcel Reed at quarterback.
This is going to be dubbed the Marcel Reed versus DJ Lagway game, and which one is actually the best?
If I stand corrected, this game could be a primetime game, which I would love it if it was. Because right now this game's set as like a flex game. Then you have,
it's an afternoon game, right?
It's in that 2 to 3:30 slot, or 2:30 to 3:30 slot, or 6 to 8.
So A&M needs to win a lot of games to help Florida if they're going 6-6 to keep this in prime time. Is what you're saying? Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Mississippi State goes to Florida. Georgia and Florida in Jacksonville.
I don't see
the
Florida
battle of Florida-Georgia line. The battle for the Florida-Georgia line.
Georgia.
Florida goes to Lexington to face the Wildcats.
That one I see Florida winning.
And then you have Florida going to Oxford.
I honestly don't know what to make of Ole Miss this year. They're one of those teams that I just can't read. I mean,
And then
so we'll see how they do against Florida. Yeah.
And then you have Tennessee going to Florida in late November. But then you have the real battle for the state of Florida. Florida State going to the Swamp.
Can we just put all three of them together in the same game and make them all play? That would be the real battle.
Florida State the first half, Miami and Florida in the third quarter, and then Florida State and Miami in the fourth.
There you go.
But I think 6-6 is a reasonable record.
If they're either going to go 6-6 or they're going to go like 9-3. Like there's going to be no.
It wouldn't surprise me if they went 9-3. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
Having Lagway.
I think that Billy Napier, he feels that pressure. He's been recruiting. He's got several good recruiting classes underneath him. If he's going to do it, this is the year. So.
But the next team we're jumping on are the Bulldogs from Georgia.
Oh.
Noah Thomas, former Aggie, jumps ship and goes to Georgia.
That was probably the worst loss that A&M had this past season, was losing.
They also grabbed wide receiver Zachariah Branch. But in the process, they lose Carson Beck to the Hurricanes.
I honestly kind of think they were kind of glad that Carson Beck left, so they didn't have to have this controversial QB battle, and they could just put their next QB that they had, stick them in there.
So Georgia's schedule lines up like this. Marshall at the Hedges, basically. Austin Peay goes to the Hedges. Georgia, Tennessee.
When
Alabama, Georgia. Kentucky, Georgia.
You just went right over that Alabama Georgia game. Like, it's nothing to it. Like, Georgia's just going to win that.
It's going to be a good game, but I got to give it to Georgia because it's at Georgia.
That's a good reason to do that. I agree.
Home field advantage. Georgia at Auburn. Georgia at Auburn.
That's a good game.
Jordan Hare Stadium is rowdy. That's if it's a night game. This one, I don't know what the time frame is. It's probably one of those afternoon. It's probably one of those afternoon games, possibly.
I label this Georgia versus Auburn a trap game because they're getting ready to go play Ole Miss the next week.
And then Florida.
Well, but they're going to play Ole Miss at home, and Ole Miss beat Georgia last year. So they're going to go, oh, it's Auburn, you know. We're worried about
they're probably going to overlook Auburn and eyeball that Ole Miss game as a possible revenge game. Then you got to go to Jacksonville to play Florida. And then you go to Starkville to play the other Bulldogs in the SEC. Then you have those low-down, dirty horns going into the Hedges.
You're gonna have some people like crying or something if they see this.
Then you have Charlotte, the University of Charlotte. That's a cakewalk for Georgia. Don't be surprised if that score is like 63-3.
Should they even play any of their starters in that game?
the starters will be gone by the end of the first half.
Yeah, let's give them 3 drives and get them out of there.
And get them ready for that rivalry game at the end of the season against Georgia Tech, which they almost lost last year.
Haynes King, let's go.
But so I think Georgia absolutely runs away with the SEC this year. The only undefeated team in the SEC.
You don't think do you think if you're taking the field or you're taking Georgia to lose, do you think there's more of a chance they go undefeated or they have 1 loss?
Well, it depends on which way you look at it. If you're taking the field, they may drop 1. If I had to pick any game that they drop, it's Auburn, as we're saying. Trap game, they're overlooking Auburn, looking at Ole Miss.
Well, what about November 15th? That's the best team in the nation right now, according to the AP poll. Texas.
I think Georgia could take care of Texas because it's at Georgia. If it was at Texas, I would flip that and say, give me Texas on that one.
That's a good point. Good point.
And if it's a night game at Georgia, but the next school we're looking at is the University of Kentucky.
So 9-3.
So,
okay. 9-3.
3-9.
3-9. I'm dyslexic. Okay. Yes, 3-9.
With no conference wins. But they do have one former Aggie on this roster. And their starting quarterback is Zach Calzada.
I like Zach Calzada. You know why?
Funny thing is, my first game, the starter was Zach Calzada.
I mean, he whooped up on Alabama. He came to play.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. I was sitting right behind the band that game, so that will always hold a special. I was a student, had my ticket. We got to sit right behind the band, so it was really cool. So, yeah. He's gonna be an Aggie war for a long, long time. And he didn't even finish his career at A&M. So,
yeah, if you want to take the schedule, you can. I've got to pull it if you want me to take it.
Go ahead. No.
So their season opener, they host Toledo. It don't take long to get to conference play when you got the Ole Miss Rebels coming to town in the second game of the year. You then play Eastern Michigan. You go to South Carolina. Then you go to the Dogs at Georgia. Then you have back-to-back Orange coming into Kroger Field. Texas and Tennessee. You then go to Jordan-Hare to start November.
That is a brutal stretch.
Florida at Kentucky. Tennessee Tech at Kentucky. Kentucky at Vandy. And then Kentucky at Louisville.
That's the middle of that stretch in October and the first 3 weeks of November.
So I would say everything from, I wouldn't even throw South Carolina in that mix because it's at South Carolina.
So who are your 3 wins? You say they got 3 wins. So which ones are you picking?
Tennessee Tech Eastern Michigan, and Toledo.
So they're not winning an SEC game? You're not
Nope.
even giving one?
Nope.
Oh, man. Wow. So not even Vanderbilt?
No.
Oh, man.
Just
What
wait
about
till we
Tennessee?
get to Vandy next week. But the next school we're looking at, you might think I'm pretty high on this school because they have a lot of continuity still, and the camaraderie is still there. But this 3-game stretch to start the season, 2 of these 3 games are not pancake games. And
Who could
that
that be?
school is LSU.
Brian Kelly is still at LSU. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he's
But
losing the first game. Like,
I
every
don't
season.
think they do. I don't think they do.
Okay. All right.
I think their first loss would be September 27th at Ole Miss. But to go to the top of the schedule, they start out with Clemson, at Clemson, Louisiana Tech, Florida, Southeast Louisiana. So I think they were 4-0 in that stretch.
I agree. If they're beating Clemson, I agree.
And then you hit Ole Miss, at Ole Miss. Then you have South Carolina coming to Death Valley. You go to Vandy. You got Texas A&M coming to LSU. At Bama. Arkansas at Death Valley.
You there, Lee? Did we lose you? All right.
So, sorry for that spinning. But my 2 losses in this season for LSU is that September 27th game at Ole Miss. And you can call me a homer for this, but I think we go into Death Valley and take care of business.
It would be about time. A&M is just not done well in Death Valley, and I understand why. It's a tough place to play. So.
Oh, it's deemed one of the top 5 toughest stadiums, yeah, to play in. So I have LSU going 10-2, and 6-2 in conference play.
Whew, I don't know if I'm that high on LSU.
Well,
give me a loss or 2 more. Kind of where I'm at. 9.
So you 9-3, 8-4.
Yeah.
Give them that the old Texas 8-4.
Texas 8-4. Who's Texas 8-4? I don't know who that is. Never heard of him.
But the final school we're getting into, the Missouri Tigers. They have a good head coach in Eli Drinkwitz.
I agree.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Missouri has a better record than what I'm predicting.
I will not be surprised because Missouri's schedule is just that easy.
And but they bring in Drew Pine at quarterback, Marquise Davis, but you lose one of your biggest weapons on the outside at Luther Burden. But before I go through the schedule, I have Missouri going 7-5 and 3-5 in conference. But Missouri's schedule lines are like this: they host Central Arkansas, they host Kansas, they host Louisiana, the Raging Cajun, they host South Carolina, they host UMass, they host Alabama. So they basically go through from the beginning of the season until the third Saturday in October. All of the games all the way up to that Auburn game are at Missouri.
Yeah. That's a nice way to open the season.
Then you go to Auburn. You go to Vanderbilt. You come back home and face A&M. You face Mississippi State in Missouri. You go to Oklahoma. You go to Arkansas. Like they face some daunting teams, like Bama, like Alabama.
Yep, they have a couple of good hard ones on there. I agree.
Auburn, at Auburn, and for the heck of it, I'll throw A&M on there.
Yep.
So, in my opinion, there's 3 losses right there. Where did the other 2 come from? Maybe Arkansas late in the year.
Like a desperation game? Like they need a win for Sam Pittman? Yeah, I could see that.
And then maybe someone like, what about a shocking loss to Vanderbilt? At Vanderbilt.
Vandy's got to have theirs. They got to win a couple this year, so why not Missouri? Yeah, I could get on board with that.
So there's your 5 losses. So then, you go beat South Carolina in Columbia, and at Missouri, you beat OU. And then
so they beat OU. Yeah. That Oklahoma game, that's going to be an interesting one.
Well, it's at Oklahoma too.
They're regionally close.
They're former Big 12 opponents.
Yep, former Big 12 opponents. Yeah.
Because Missouri and A&M came over the same year from the Big 12.
Right. 2012.
So do we think, how many teams do we think represent the SEC in the college football playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, they should. Why wouldn't they? I mean, they're the best conference, right?
But as I was saying, how many teams do you think represents the SEC in the college football playoffs this year?
I got you. I mean, we got 3 last year?
3 Georgia. No. Tennessee, Texas. And I think Alabama.
Alabama, yes. Yeah, we got those 3. If we get a 9-3 team in, man, we could do that. It depends on how the schedule plays out. But yeah, it's going to be 3 or 4 teams again, just because it's.
I'm going to say this. I think we could have at least 5.
5. Wow. Okay.
With Texas and Georgia being the top 2.
Okay.
I think A&M could slip in and be that third team.
All
if
right.
everything goes right.
All right. I would love that. Nothing more.
And then you have Alabama. But my dark horse to get in the college football playoff out of the SEC, South Carolina.
That I had a feeling you were going to say South Carolina. Yes, I agree.
Because, like, how do you beat a team with a quarterback like Lenore Sellers? How?
You sack him, unlike A&M did.
like A&M was the literal choke artist in that game.
And I think Lenore Sellers like got a bunch of confidence from that game because it was like from that game on, he was good. So yeah.
But do we have anything else we want to add to this? Except for like that we'll be back next week to cover the other half of the SEC.
No, I mean I'm just glad to be back in this season. You could just smell football in the air. So I mean I enjoy talking.
You can also feel it. You can also feel it.
I mean, what are we less than 3 weeks? I mean, from SEC football, I think, right? Or is there one in week 0?
So A&M's first game is the 30th. We are 2 weeks away from that. That's as of this Saturday. We're 2 weeks away from A&M hitting the field.
Right.
So
the very first SEC game is going to be on a Thursday night, August 28th, Missouri and Arkansas or Central Arkansas. So they got a Thursday, Friday game just to kind of introduce you into the season. That's pretty cool. So there'll be lots of SEC that first weekend.
A&M did get some big news. We have a commit from a 4-star offensive tackle for the class of 2027. He a big boy too. 6'7", 300 pounds.
And other teams wanted him. That's the good thing. Like,
is that we beat other teams for somebody.
Right. Texas, Ole Miss. I don't even remember. There's several more. It's just like notable teams. Yeah.
Yeah. And you had the guts to go get him, and you did. But now the question is, can you keep him committed?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, A&M has their cornerstone quarterback committed. I think it was last week, the 2027 class. And, yeah, I mean, A&M has a lot to prove. If they can go down and win and kind of, show improvement, and they're going to want to come join the fun. But, yeah, I mean, Elko, he can recruit, but he's got to back it up.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Ags, as I said last week, you don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. Thanks, and giggle.
Giggle.